Namaskaram to all viewers of Jyotirmark. Dear viewers, in the last chapter, we had mentioned that there were only 6 survivors after Agni had consumed the Pandava forest. They were Ashwasena, son of Takshaka, Mayaasura, the Shilpi or the architect of the Asuras, and 4 Sharangaka birds. Now we shall go through the story of the Sharangaka birds very briefly. There was a great Rishi by name Mandapaala, who had earned several auspicious worlds as a result of his severe penances. But after his death, he came to realize that entry to those worlds was possible only for those who had begotten children in their worldly life. So Mandapaala came back to earth, and to beget offspring in the shortest possible time, that Rishi took the form of a Sharangaka bird and found a spouse by name Jaritha. In Jaritha, 4 birdlings were born to him. To beget more children, he left Jaritha and lived with another female Sharangaka bird by name Lapitha. It was during this time that Agni started its Gandhava Dahan. Thereupon Mandapaala worshipped Agni with such appealing verses from the Vedas, whereupon Agni was pleased and obliged him with his request to spare his family from the fire. Still, Mandapaala was sad and lamenting, thinking about Jaritha and his children. This provoked Lapitha. She said that he had more affection for Jaritha and suggested that he may go back to her. Mandapaala replied that his purpose was to beget children, and things like more affection and less affection were not there in his purpose and in his relationships. Since Lapitha was not appreciative of his words, Mandapaala said that she can think what she wants, and then leaving her, he went to Jaritha and his children. But when he reached there, Jaritha also was not happy with him, as he had left her and their children for Lapitha. Meanwhile, they were aware of the fact that Agni had spared them because Mandapaala had worshipped and pleased Agni well in advance. So, after the initial displeasure, they accepted Mandapaala, and then leaving that forest, they all went to a different place and lived there happily. Dear viewers, Mandapaala's story contains several verses and prayers from the Vedas. Similarly, Mandapaala's children were also Jatavedas. Jataveda is a synonym for Agni. Besides, it also means one who is blessed with knowledge by birth. Like that, those 4 birdlings had also praised Agni with beautiful prayers. Side by side, the story also highlights problems arising from multiple relationships, because we saw Mandapaala being rejected both by Jaritha and Lapitha. Now coming back, after consuming Gandhava in its totality, Agni regained its vitality and became radiant and glorious like before. Thereafter, when Agni, Krishna and Arjun were together, Indra appeared in front of them and said that Krishna and Arjun have accomplished a task which is impossible even for the gods and devas. Indra further said that he is so pleased with them that each of them can ask for a boon from him. Thereupon, Arjun asked for all the weapons which were with Indra. To that, Indra replied that a time will come when Arjun will worship Mahadeva and receive that Lord's blessings. At that time, said Indra, that he will give all his weapons to Arjun. Krishna asked for the boon that he should have everlasting friendship with Arjun. Thereafter, Devendra took Agni's permission and along with those devas who were accompanying him departed to Swarglok. Then Agni Deva happily told Krishna and Arjun that they have fulfilled their commitment and they are free to leave now. Thereupon, Krishna, Arjun and Mayaasura walked through the banks of Yamuna river and sat down at a beautiful place with peaceful surroundings. Dear viewers, this epic Mahabharat penned by Rishi Vedavyasa has 18 Parvas. Parva in Sanskrit means chapter. The first Parva is Aadi Parva. With this episode of the Gandhava Dahan, Aadi Parva is over. Next one is Sabha Parva. Sabha means assembly. Incidentally, it was mentioned that Mahabharat has 18 Parvas. This number 18 is recurring in Mahabharat. As mentioned above, Mahabharat has 18 Parvas. Within Mahabharat, the Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. Kurukshetra war lasted for 18 days. The number of Akshauhinis or battalions that participated in the war was 18, 11 on the Kaurava side and 7 on the Pandava side. Also, 18 individuals are said to have survived the battle of Kurukshetra. Dear viewers, long after the Kurukshetra war, King Janamejaya performed a Mahayajna by name Sarpasatra, which lasted for 12 years. The purpose of this yajna was to sacrifice all serpents of this world in that Agni Havan. The king didn't want even one snake to be left alive in this world. Janamejaya's prime target was Serpent King Takshaka, but he wanted to see Takshaka dying along with all other snakes of this world. The reason for Janamejaya's hatred and anger was the fact that his father King Parikshit was killed by Takshaka. Parikshit was bitten by that extremely venomous snake Takshaka, due to which the king had been burnt down to ashes within no time. Now, who was Janamejaya? Janamejaya was the son of King Parikshit, who was the son of Abhimanyu, and we all know Abhimanyu was the son of Arjun and Subhadra. Many great rishis, sages and ritviks had attended the Sarpasatra as participants and as spectators. Rishi Vedavyasa was also present in that Mahayajna with his son Shuka and his disciples. Rishi Vedavyasa was Arjun's grandfather. That is, he was the father of Arjun's father Pandu. So the chronology is like this: Vyasa, Pandu, Arjun, Abhimanyu, Parikshit and Janamejaya. Vyasa, being a Chiranjeevi, lived through generations. At the initial stage of Sarpasatra, during an interval, Janamejaya requested his great-great-grandfather Vyasa to tell him about the greatest and deadliest war of all times, which was the Kurukshetra war, how it happened and why it happened and what happened after that war. During this time, Vyasa had already composed the Mahabharata, which is a truthful and impartial description of the life and history of the Pandavas and the Kauravas and that of Lord Krishna, who played a major role in their lives and destiny, and it also unfolds all the truths, intricacies and mysteries of the battle of Kurukshetra. The name given to this epic by Vyasa was Jayam, meaning victory, because it was the victory of Dharma over Adharma. Later on, it became popular as Mahabharata. This name is basically derived from the name of King Bharata, who had founded the Bharata dynasty, and his kingdom was known as Bharata. So the name of this epic Mahabharata is also indicative of the great ruler Bharata and the history of his kingdom by name Bharata. After Vyasa composed this epic, initially it was recited only in Devalok. The descendants of the main characters of this epic being still alive, Vyasa had withheld it being rendered in public in the Martyalok. But when his great-grandson, King Janamejaya, requested Vyasa to tell about the Pandavas and the Kauravas and the battle of Kurukshetra, Vyasa asked his disciple by name Rishi Vaishampayana to render the epic in that great assembly, which consisted of King Janamejaya and many other great kings, rishis and saints. Thus, during the intervals of the Sarpasatra, this timeless epic Mahabharata was recited in parts by Rishi Vaishampayana. Dear viewers, here ends this chapter of our summarized rendering of Rishi Vedavyasa's timeless epic Mahabharata. Also, here ends the Aadi Parva. Harihi Om.